Championship Saturday takes us to a place where the collars are as blue as the turf. The tough town of Boise, Idaho, and they're ready for the Fresno State Bulldogs to enter, seeking a Mountain West Conference championship. Welcome to the 2017 Mountain West Football Championship game presented on ESPN by Hampton by Hilton. These two teams played a week ago, and here they are from Fresno to Boise. Fresno State is a top 25 team in the college football playoff rankings for the first time, squaring off with Boise State. Last Saturday, the Bulldogs with a 28-17 home victory. What an oddity. Just the second time in FBS history that two teams have played back-to-back games in the same season, and it's a tough place to play. The best home record since the turn of the century in college football belongs to the Boise State Broncos. Hope you're enjoying your championship Saturday. Adam Amin, Dusty Dvorak, Molly McGrath will join us in a moment as well. And as we open up our championship dossier, we start with one of the great stories in college football. What a job Jeff Tedford has done with an incredible turnaround at Fresno State.
It's been unbelievable, and it's the second time for Jeff Tedford. Go back to his first year at Cal. He rebuilt that program in year number one. He's done the same thing here, and he's done it by building this team's confidence from a one-loss season a year ago, earning this team's trust, and week by week, they've gotten better and better, and now in position to win a conference championship.
Much like Fresno State, Boise State started tough, really strong finish.
Yeah, and you know, early on in the season, we had them twice. They couldn't find any identity on offense. They weren't physical in the run game. Quarterback wasn't quite there. They were 2-2 early on, and they won 7 straight football games and really ran through the Mountain West Conference. A hiccup a week ago, but they're playing their best football at the right time of the season.
We're going to see 3 quarterbacks of import between these two teams. We start with the transfer from Oregon State.
This guy got here the second week of August, so they took him along slow. Smart by these coaches. He didn't start until the 4th game of the season, and they put more and more on his plate throughout the season to where he's playing his best football of the year right now, coming off a great game against Boise. And Boise, they don't have one, but 2 different quarterbacks on their offense.
Yeah, that's right, Dusty. We'll be seeing both Brett Rippon and Montel Cozart in this game. And Coach Brian Harsin said this isn't normally a 2-quarterback system, but both players have so much athleticism, we needed to find a way to make it work. And Rippon admitted to me that he struggled with his confidence early in the season, not throwing his first touchdown pass until 5 games in, but he said there was a turning point for him where he stopped worrying so much about individual statistics and his job security and just had fun with it. And this team behind both quarterbacks, Cedric Wilson told me, Brett is our guy, but Montel is not a backup quarterback. They're a 1-2 punch. We see them as 1A and 1B.
39 degrees, dropping temperatures as the night goes on. This game being played in Boise to the consternation of some folks out west in Fresno. We'll dive into that story as the night goes on. Boise State won the toss and deferred. And the 5th Mountain West Championship game is underway with a procedure penalty, which will give Fresno State the football in good field position.
Kick out of bounds, kicking team. First down, 35-yard line.
So Fresno State played 3 games, then had a bye. And that's when Marcus McMaryion was ready to take over as the starter after he arrived on August the 11th for his first practice.
I got to give these coaches a ton of credit because the natural thing is just to rush your quarterback in. You get a new grad transfer, he's the best quarterback. Let's just throw him in there and see what he can do. They took it slow. He didn't play until the 4th game of the season following a bye, and it's been a constant evolution all throughout this season, getting better and better each week. The playbook growing and growing each week. Played his best game of the season last week. There was a great deep ball down the field, very mobile. Boise struggled keeping him inside the pocket on a couple of 3rd downs just a week ago, but Marcus McMaryion playing the best football of his career right now for Fresno State.
Marcus McMaryion on the keep. There's that mobility on display for 13 yards. He's got a great target out on the perimeter. Keyshawn Johnson is a championship factor for the Bulldogs.
6'2", 202 pounds, goes up and gets the football. Monster week against Boise just a week ago.
We'll tell you all about the 12% rule implemented by Kalen DeBoer, the offensive coordinator. It is a good one. And it's how Fresno State has gone 9-3 this year. Catch made by Keyshawn Johnson, right on cue for 8.
That's a great instance of the chemistry that's been built between Marcus McMaryion, especially Keyshawn Johnson outside. That's a timing route on an out route. Ball out of Marcus McMarion's hand before Keyshawn Johnson even gets out of his break. They've continually gotten better and better each and every week.
New school record for consecutive games of the reception, busting Henry Ellard's old mark. This is Jordan Mims. The true freshman spins for the first down.
Jordan Mims will make you miss. Now Wahine, the safety, comes down, has a chance to tackle him in the open field. But just that slight cut, that shiftiness by Mims allows him to pick up enough for the first down.
Now it's Josh Hokett. Good job by Natani Muti, the left guard, pulling out to help for a 5-yard run.
Expect to see 3 different running backs here today. We've seen Jordan Mims, Josh Hokett. He's more of the bigger physical power runner, and Ronnie Rivers, the explosive true freshman. All 3 of these guys will get plenty of run for Fresno.
Blitz from Boise. McMaryion looking for Johnson. Incomplete.
McMaryion had Johnson. Keyshawn Johnson just never located the football. Good route by Johnson. Sits down like a little stop route, and he takes it up the field. Unable to locate the football for Marcus McMaryion. It's 3rd and long, not a good situation for Fresno. This is an area they've really struggled so far in the season. I expect max protection from Fresno to give Marcus McMaryion plenty of time to deliver the football.
Well, he empties it out on 3rd down and 8. Boise showing pressure. They will bring just 4. And McMaryion will get shoved out by the Mountain West Conference Defensive Player of the Year, Leighton Vander Esch. 4th down.
It's good coverage down the field. Nowhere for Marcus McMaryion to go with the football. Sneaks out the back door. Leighton Vander Esch. He's in the passing lane. Gets to his mark. And then as he sees Marcus McMaryion is going to try to pick up the yards to gain on the ground, closes to the football and escorts the quarterback out of bounds.
Jimmy Camacho, cancer survivor, excellent kicker, 2nd team Mountain West selection. A little bit of a hook, and it's off the upright. Just his 5th miss, Dustin.
Ball was hooking. It looked like it was going to find a way to make it in. But doink.
Jeff Tedford's team unable to come away with points to start the night, and I think he knew that it was a little wide right when he made contact with it based on that reaction.
Disheartening start for Fresno. They moved the ball so well down the field. Credit Boise for getting a stop and forcing the missed field goal.
Brett Rippon starts this drive from the 24 and finds his top target, Cedric Wilson. That's a great connection that Brett Rippon loves to use.
Brett Rippon is really hitting his stride throughout this season. His accuracy's gotten so much better, very accurate with the football. You know, less thinking, more production. A lot of quick game, balls coming out fast. They like to get him into a rhythm, and a true professional. This guy's handled Montel Cozart coming in, and everything that's been thrown at him this year to perfection.
Back to Wilson. Ducked under George Helmuth and picked up a couple. The number 9 is very important when Boise State is on offense. got a 1,000-yard rusher for the 9th consecutive season. He's in the backfield. It's Alexander Madison. And he'll work all the way near the sticks, near the 46-yard line. Boise State and Auburn have the longest streak in the country for a 1,000-yard rusher.
And this is who they are. And early on in the season, they weren't able to run the football effectively. This offensive line, they found some continuity. They're playing much better with much more physicality, and it's allowed Alexander Madison to really emerge. And Jake Rowe, such a key piece of this offense. 9 receiving touchdowns, 11 total touchdowns. He didn't play a week ago, and it's very questionable how much we will see him today.
Little end around for the first down. Picked up by Robert Mahone into Fresno State territory, Molly.
Yeah, Coach Harsin told us yesterday that Jake Rowe would be out of this game. He said it would take a miracle for him to play, and this morning Rowe showed up to Harsin's office and basically begged him to play. He insisted he was fine. Harsin said he'll do anything to play in this game because it means a lot to him. He doesn't want to miss it, so he's suited up. He is available, but as you saw, he did not start. We'll keep an eye on him.
Such a huge factor for this Boise State offense, throwing the football, blocking, some of the gadget things they do.
Deep downfield for Wilson. Cedric Wilson is an absolute stud. Future NFL receiver for 22.
This offensive line gives Brett Rippon all day to throw the football, and he's able to step into the throw. Can survey the field, locate his top target, Cedric Wilson, on the sidelines. Excellent blocking, quality throw and catch.
Try to do it again. Incomplete for Wilson. Montel Cozart is going to come on the field. Rippon and Cozart spent a lot of time on the field together, maybe more than they have all season last week.
Give Zach Hill a lot of credit, the offensive coordinator of Boise State, the way he's handled this quarterback situation and now being more imaginative and how they get Cozart involved.
They've got it with Cozart, and he'll pick up good yardage to set up a more manageable 3rd down. Another interesting wrinkle tossed in by Zach Hill.
I like it. Find different ways to get your playmaker the football. Montel Cozart, dynamic in the open field as a runner. Early on in the season, it was kind of just a red zone package. They bring him in, he plays some quarterback. Now they've really opened up the playbook, finding different ways to get him touches.
Trying to set it up for Alec Danens. He thought he got held. There is no penalty flag on the field. Juju Hughes had the coverage.
They brought a bunch of guys, but it's Jeffrey Allison who's going to come clean and get to the quarterback and get pressure. Very aggressive defensive call on 3rd down. Trusting their nickel, James Bailey, in man-to-man coverage on Alec Danens. Good defense on 3rd down.
Hayden Hogarth. Will get Boise on the board first in the Mountain West Championship game. It's an 8-quarter game, said Brian Harsin. By aggregate, the lead has been cut to 8. 2017 Mountain West Football Championship game, presented on ESPN by Hampton by Hilton, all part of Dr. Pepper Championship Week. Fresno State, the West Division champions, in their 3rd Mountain West title game, 1-11. Tim DeRuyter was fired towards the end of last year. Jeff Tedford comes in, has to face Alabama and Washington in the first 3 weeks. They have a bye week, and then they start to roll behind the quarterback and this offensive line that has allowed the 2nd fewest sacks in the country. Army has allowed 1 sack. That's a team that never passes, just about.
Fresno State took several deep shots early in the game a week ago to test this Boise secondary. We haven't seen them test them down the field to this point in the game.
Hits the cross. Jameer Jordan about a yard or so shy of the sticks. And that should take us to the end of the opening quarter. We'll get one play off here. And they'll go to Keyshawn Johnson. And Fresno State will have the ball in plus territory on the blue turf here in Boise to start the second quarter of the Mountain West Championship game. We had a lot of fun downtown last night. Some of the best food undiscovered in this country. Shout out to Fork. How about this? Boise State last night. I wonder if the student section would have loved this if this game were in Boise. Shout out to my man Lexus Williams, former Valpo Crusader. Half-court shot to snap the Oregon Ducks' 46-game home court win streak. And now Boise back on their home turf for the Mountain West title game as Ronnie Rivers picks up a couple. It's interesting that this game is being played in Boise, Idaho. The thought was that Fresno should be the host of this Mountain West Championship game because they won the head-to-head. But the Mountain West has an interesting way to determine the host site for the title game. The team with the highest college football playoff ranking going into the final week of the regular season would be the host of the game unless they lose their finale and there's an assumption that they would drop out. So neither team is assumed to be in the playoff rankings. Then it goes to an average of 4 computer rankings, and Boise State had the higher composite rankings. So they, with their body of work, according to the polls, earned the right to host this game, much to the consternation of many in Fresno, California. Underneath to DeJounte O'Neal for the first down. Boy, this is a really solid offensive series for Fresno State. That's another double-digit yard play.
DeJounte O'Neal working out of the backfield. He stayed in as if he was going to block, and the releases last minute. Nobody accounts for him. Nice yards after the catch. The junior running back. It's good patience by Marcus McMarion, too. Understanding he's got to check down.
O'Neal brought down by Tyson Maeva. Marcus McMarion made 6 starts at Oregon State midway through last year. A guy who was passed over for the starting quarterback job 3 times in 3 years. When Jake Lulin was named the starter at the beginning of this year at Oregon State, he transferred but did not arrive to a practice and wasn't eligible until August the 11th. And now he's leading the Fresno State Bulldogs on a very impressive drive. Jared Rice sets up 1st and goal.
Well, Jared Rice, he's listed as a tight end at 6'5", 228. Really, he's a slot receiver. A mismatch on linebackers, just right up the seam. Great job by Marcus McMarion locating his big target.
Nothing there for Hokett beyond a yard.
Seen them several times now with Josh Hokett. That Wildcat offense. Wonder as we get into the red zone, that might reappear. He's their big, physical, short yardage running back. He'll get you the tough, hard yards.
Stuffed. Excellent penetration by the defensive player of the year, Leighton Vander Esch.
Man, Leighton Vander Esch flying downhill. He's up in the gap, and he's just going to shoot the gap. Make a big play behind the line of scrimmage as he fights through a block.
Little end around here. Damari Scott is short. Keikoa Nawahine beat him to the spot. And Van Der Esch a little slow to get up. Last year, his dad, Darwin, found an old Amtrak bus that used to take passengers from San Diego to Disneyland. They took a bunch of seats out of it, added a couch, added a stove, and he takes about 20 to 30 people to every Boise State game from Riggins.
Papa Van Der Esch making some dinner?
I'm in on it.
Man.
You know how much we like food on this show.
Good looking rig. Look at Jeff Tedford.
Going for it on 4th down and goal here. McMarion. He's got the clear path for the touchdown. Fresno State takes the lead on a gutsy call by Jeff Tedford.
Gutsy call by Jeff Tedford on the road. Fearless. He came to win a championship, and he showed it right there. Naked boot, trusting their quarterback with his mobility and speed on the perimeter. It was a gamble, and a gamble paid huge dividends.
Jimmy Camacho makes it 7-3. A little roll of the dice from the first-year head coach at Fresno State. The former Bulldog himself calls the big play.
Fresno on top 7-3, a 4th and 1, and Jeff Tedford, he rolls the dice. Thinking inside power football. Bruno DeRose off the edge, gonna be a play action, naked boot. DeRose goes with the play action. Nawahine, the outside safety, he has to respect the tight end in coverage. It's a foot race to the pylon, and Marcus McMarion, the grad transfer quarterback, has excellent mobility on the perimeter. He's going to win that foot race every single time.
Ryan Wolpen on the return. Boise from the 23. Ripping. Looking deep. And he's got his man in A.J. Richardson. The biggest Boise play of the day. 40 yards.
It's max protection. They had to give enough time to allow that route to develop. And this offensive line really, with a great job, giving the quarterback, Brett Rippon, plenty of time to survey the field and allow him to locate his target. And a dime on the outside beats really good coverage.
Now they swing it out to Wilson. Juju Hughes with the stop.
Shifts, motions, we call it window dressing, eye candy. It's a big part of what Boise State likes to do. Try to find out what type of coverage a defense is in. Will they adjust? Will they slide the front as the shifts and motions occur?
Another play fake. Screen from Madison gets blown up by Tank Kelly. Fresno State's excellent defense forces 3rd down and long. Revisiting Brian Harson's theory of making it an 8-quarter game. Neither team with a turnover so far through this 5.5-quarter stretch. 3rd down and 12. Incomplete, looking for Sean Motster.
What do you want to bet? If Boise is able to win this game, though they don't win the 8 quarters, they'll be just fine accepting the conference championship trophy.
I'm with you on it, pal. And it's not so much the physical manifestation of the 8 quarters of this game. It's the mentality that Brian Harsin was trying to deliver to his team. It was interesting. Nick Saban talked about the rematch process today on College Game Day, because Auburn and Georgia were playing each other, granted not on back-to-back weeks, but just trying to figure out the mindset of a football team. Excellent punt by Joel Velasquez, downed by the long snapper Brock Barr, and it pins Fresno State at its 1-yard line. The capital of Idaho. Over 220,000 here in Boise, the tree-lined valley of the great downtown. Fresno from the 1. Let's see if that offensive line steps up here. Plenty of time for McMarion, but he overthrows Keyshawn Johnson.
That's a lot of trust in your offensive line as the offensive coordinator, Kylan DeBeer. I mean, they're backed up as far as you can be backed up. And they keep a tight end in for max protection. But trusting his offensive line to give Marcus McMarion enough time to throw the ball down the field. He had plenty of time, just overshot his target on a deep over, Keyshawn Johnson.
Oh, he tried to find Mims. That would have been a crucial cushion catch. Instead, it's 3rd down and 10.
Boise State electing to just rush 4, play zone coverage on the backside. Plenty of time for Marcus McMarion to survey the field. Had his true freshman running back open, slightly behind him, unable to come down with the catch. 3rd and long, as we've mentioned, a problem down in distance for Fresno throughout the course of the season. Keep an eye on Jabril Weaver.
McMarion taking a deep shot. Incomplete. Keyshawn Johnson was the target, and Frazier was bringing pressure.
He did. He took a shot as he delivered that pass. Jabril Frazier. Curtis Weaver last drive. Jabril Frazier there. Really good job with his hands. A counter move coming back inside, forcing the errant pass for Marcus McMarion.
Avery Williams. And Avery Williams inside the 10 to the pylon, out of bounds near the 5.
You mentioned earlier, Avery Williams, an outstanding returner. Good blocking out in front. Excellent vision by Avery Williams. A big 36-yard punt return. Blocks are set up. He's patient as he gets to the sideline. It's a good spot by the official on the 4-yard line. Big-time return by Avery Williams.
2 punt return touchdowns this year. One of them came in his college football debut against Troy, the other against San Diego State. He sets up 1st and goal at the 4. Madison. 2nd and goal. Stopped by Stephen Van Hook.
It's power football, what Boise State's known for. It's a quality offensive line against a quality front 7 for Fresno State. It's Fresno State defense. We talk about their team being turned around. This defense has been the key catalyst in doing so. Orlando Steinauer has gone from an odd front 3-4 defense to a 4-3 this year, playing to the strength of his personnel.
This time they give it to Wilson, and he stumbled down near the 2. Interesting play call there to give a playmaker the ball in space.
It is, but man, that's not who they are. You know, I mean, Cedric Wilson's an outstanding player, so I'm not going to say you shouldn't get him touches or get him the ball.
Okay.
He can do great things with the football. But Boise State, this is what I like. Wildcat, Alexander Madison.
Taking the snap and taking it in. First down, Boise State for the lead.
It's power football. This is the identity of Boise State. It's excellent blocking. They're going to go on the Wildcat. Just cave everything down on the left side. Alexander Madison, one cut, lower the shoulder, get in the end zone. Nice way to cap off the big-time return from Avery Williams.
Hogarth gives Boise State the 10-7 lead. Avery Williams set it up for Alexander Madison to punch it in. 20th meeting all time between Boise State and Fresno State. They played every year from 2001 to 2014 as WAC foes and then Mountain West foes. They didn't play in 2015 or 2016. They met last week for the Milk Can Trophy, which Fresno State took home, and tonight they meet for the Mountain West title. Damari Scott. Out across the 20. There's Rivers. Flag thrown.
During the run, personal foul, face mask, defense, number 10, 15-yard penalty from the end of the run, automatic, first down.
Well, the wait is almost over. Star Wars: The Last Jedi in theaters, December the 15th. I guess Darth is ready to go. He might have been recast in the movie. I'm not sure.
Is the Bronco head going to make the movie too? or just Darth Vader? I'm not up on my Star Wars. Sorry.
We wouldn't have been able to tell, Dust. We wouldn't have been able to tell, my man. Rivers. He's got the first down into Boise State territory.
I like this Ronnie Rivers.
Yep.
He is explosive. Not big. He's 5'8", 175, true freshman. Very talented perimeter runner. Different ways they get in the ball. It's just a swing screen on the outside. A couple of big offensive linemen get out in front. Throw him some blocks. Nice yardage after the catch.
Scott. Damari Scott to the edge, making people miss down to the 30-yard line.
Excellent blocking on the edge.
Injury to a defensive player.
Mims, 22, the running back. 89, the fullback, Rittering. 3, Keyshawn Johnson. Quality perimeter blocking for Fresno State.
Sounds good, boys. We'll see you in 2:49. Fresno State looking for the lead before halftime. And there goes Marcus McMarion, making a little magic happen with his legs. First down and goal. 22-yard run for Marcus McMarion.
They got the matchup they wanted. Leighton Vander Esch going to be on a blitz, and they got the matchup that they were looking for on a running back. It's going to be Vander Esch on Mims. Mims misses, but Marcus McMarion makes the Mountain West Conference Defensive Player of the Year miss in the open field, setting up the big game.
The longest run of the night of 22. First down and goal for Fresno State. McMarion sees an alley and has the touchdown. And the Bulldogs jump back out in front.
Well, from the onset, I told you about Marcus McMarion's mobility.
Yep.
And this is what has really kept Fresno in the game so far this evening. Blitzing linebacker And as soon as it comes, huge hole opens up, and Marcus McMaryion, quality vision, seeing the hole open, and it's a sprint to the end zone.
The Bulldogs regain the advantage. The number 25 team in the college football playoff rankings.
And it's the end of the first half.
Squaring off with the team that was in the rankings a week ago. Boise State ball to start the second half with a Mountain West title on the line. Brett Rippon and this Boise State team will have the ball to start the half. The Fresno State Bulldogs are in front to start half number 2. Adam Amin, Dusty Dvorak, Molly McGrath. Not really anything too explosive in that first half. Just two quality teams playing a quality half.
They have the difference in the first half for me was Marcus McMaryion and Jeff Tedford coming up with a huge play call in a big moment. There's a big 4th and 1 in that first half, and it backs up against the wall. They needed to come up with a big play, and he rolls the dice and he gets to it. The opening touchdown drive for Fresno State, Marcus McMaryion shows you his ability to throw the football down the field. What separates him is his mobility. And Jeff Tedford knows he has a weapon with an athletic quarterback. 4th and 1, no fear. Call the naked boot, get in the end zone. One of 2 rushing touchdowns for the Fresno State quarterback in the opening half.
Boise State will start this drive from the 18-yard line. Let's check in with Molly McGrath.
Well, I talked to Broncos coach Brian Harsin about the challenges that Fresno State's defense is posing. He said they're covering much better than they were last week, and they're tackling better. He wants to see his offense break some tackles. He also wants to see more consistency. They haven't been able to string back-to-back plays together. And his message all week, you guys, was that 8 quarters. He told his team at halftime, we have 2 more quarters left in our season. We need to go out there and finish.
Brett Rippon starts it, Molly. Underneath, A.J. Richardson. He's got the first down. Brian Harsin talked about the week between the doubleheader, quote unquote, as an extended halftime. So Fresno State, just 99 rushing yards last week. Really impressive performance on the ground, as you said, Dusty, led by McMaryion.
McMaryion, as well as Josh Hokett, the bigger, more physical running back. Fresno beat up Boise on the ground in the opening half.
Nothing there for Madison. Malik Forrester and Mike Bell. That's the defensive tackle and the safety. The defensive coordinator for Fresno State, Orlando Steinauer, said, let's build this defense up the middle.
That's exactly right. And Malik Forrester, he is a disruptive force in the middle of this Fresno State defensive line. A penetrator up the field. Good job shedding that block. Big hit on the running back.
Incomplete for Madison, but the penalty marker thrown with a really good linebacker, Jeffrey Allison, in coverage. And as a pass interference call.
Jeffrey Allison, man-to-man coverage, turning and running with the running back, Alexander Madison.
I agree with you. I'm not sure if it's a catchable ball, but you have to assume that there is a catch there if a defensive player makes that type of contact.
I think it's the right call.
Yeah. Madison sneaks through a hole down to the 35-yard line.
The verbiage Brian Harsin used, even going all the way back to when we had him early in the season, same as it was yesterday. It's not a competition. Sorry, it's not a controversy. It's a quarterback competition. Both these guys have handled it extremely well.
Back to the Wildcat here. Good play by George Helmuth. Makes the stop to set up 3rd down. Can't be easy for a play caller. And Zach Hill, in his 2nd year on staff, is now the lone offensive coordinator and is the play caller this year for the first time, taking those duties from Brian Harsin. And he's had to navigate through a lot of rough terrain. The personnel, the egos that you deal with when you're playing big-time college football. He's done a really nice job as the season has gone on to figure it out. Underneath, Alec Danens, first down to the 30.
I like the play call. Boots a big part of what Boise State does. Brett Rippon's gotten much better outside the pocket. And even though Jake Rowe's not here, we've now seen John Bates, Alec Danens, a couple of catches to replace their big-time tight end who has yet to see the field so far this evening. But think about just this drive by itself. We've seen 3 guys already play quarterback here on this drive for Boise State. Zach Hill in this offense, they put a lot on the plate for defensive coordinators to prepare for and think about.
Into a tight window. Good coverage by Tank Kelly guarding A.J. Richardson.
Tank Kelly, the most aggressive of these corners. Man-to-man outside, second time he's gotten that left hand in the throwing window as he's working on A.J. Richardson. Really solid pass breakup for the junior cornerback.
Tank Kelly has started the last 8 games. Veteran, playing his 29th game for Fresno State.
You learned me good.
This is good stuff, man. On the blue turf tonight. Second down. Rippon overthrows Madison. And that'll bring up third down and 10. Rippon's going to want that one back.
Yeah, he is going to want that back. He had exactly what he wanted. Alexander Madison up the seam, beats the safety. He's wide open in the middle of the field. Wide open. And Brett Rippon overshoots his target.
Time running out. That ball is loose. And it's ruled an incomplete pass for Madison. Brings up fourth down.
Adam, Jake Rowe lobbying to Brian Harsin this morning, trying to play despite a left leg injury. While he came out at halftime out of his uniform, he is in sweats. They definitely need him on a drive like this. It looks like he won't be going back in the game, Adam.
Yeah, Alec Danens, John Bates, they're good tight ends. They're getting better, but they're not Jake Rowe.
Jake Rowe's a difference maker, and as you get closer and closer to the end zone, into the red zone, that's where he is really key. And Molly's exactly right. Truly missed on that final sequence of plays.
Hayden Hogarth cannot connect from 46. One of the longer attempts of his redshirt junior season. Brett Rippon missed a receiver on that drive, and he knows it. Molly told you he's missing one of his key playmakers tonight. A big drive for Boise's D and the Bulldogs offense when you come back.
The 2017 Mountain West Football Championship game, brought to you by the Mini Countrymen. Get more of what matters. And Carl's Jr. and Hardee's, introducing the $5 All-Star Meals. There's no better way to spend $5.
There's no better crew to deal with in the country for college football games than the one that constantly feeds you. And that's what we have on our crew this season. It's been a fun year for us. Mountain West Championship game. Myself, Dusty Dvorak, Molly McGrath, just very happy to be a part of this wonderful crew. We get to take it at Championship Saturday as well. We'll have some bowl games, but culminating tonight, Molly McGrath, how are you feeling?
It's chilly out here, guys. I could use some hot food right about now, and there's nothing better than being known as the crew that has fun and eats a lot of good food.
Yeah, there's worse ways to live life than calling football games and getting some food delivered to you. Damari Scott, good run on the end around. Out to the 35-yard line. I'm like looking over my shoulder to see if there's...
Where's the food?
If there's going to be any food. I was like, just kind of hoping. Third down and 4 coming up here for Fresno State. Underneath again, and Rice gets the first down. That's a play that's hurt Boise State's defense a couple of times tonight.
Jared Rice motions over. It's the tight end delay. He acts as if he's going to block, and then after the defensive end releases in his pass rush, he releases, turns, picks up the first down.
Keyshawn Johnson lunging for the line to gain. They mark him right at the sticks for the first down. That is not the play we saw the first half, where he was a little short of the line to gain. That was good awareness by Keyshawn Johnson.
I like the effort after the catch. Immediately catches the ball, he turns up, and he's looking to make a guy miss and get the needed yardage to move the sticks.
For a good fourth quarter. The 5th championship game in the history of the Mountain West. Fresno State and Boise State, longtime rivals. A 4-point separation into quarter number 4.
Back here in Boise, where the Broncos' 1,000-yard rusher Alexander Madison can hardly walk and can't put any weight on his left leg after this gruesome injury. Afterwards, he was crying and visibly very upset, with a lot of his teammates checking on him. But he did muster up the strength to go into the team huddle for the fourth quarter. Eventually, he was taken away on a cart. Boise doesn't give injury information, but it looks like he's out, guys.
Huge loss for Boise. And here comes DeJounte O'Neal. Nothing there. Run down by Leighton Vander Esch and Sonatane Louis. '17 Mountain West Championship game presented on ESPN by Hampton by Hilton. Adam Amin, Dusty Dvorak, Molly McGrath on Championship Saturday with our fantastic crew. Bottom of the hour in Boise, Idaho, and we've got the tightest of the conference championship games going on right now. Keyshawn Johnson makes men miss for the first down, and he's fired up.
Keyshawn Johnson, outstanding route. Comeback route, works back to the quarterback, and immediately gets back upfield to get the necessary yardage for the first down.
11 targets, 5 catches for the second-team Mountain West selection.
It's a good route working on Tyler Horton. Tyler Horton, one of the best cornerbacks in this conference. That's good on good matchup outside.
Horton, the first-team selection. Another play fake. All day for McMarion. And he'll launch it incomplete.
Keyshawn Johnson working the over route. It got behind the safety.
For a split second,
yeah,
he was open.
He was waving his hands, doing jumping jacks, hoping his quarterback, Marcus McMarion, could find him. He located him too late. Ball sails past his intended target.
Poke it. Nothing there. Front, probably. Here it's the Bulldogs in front, but 3rd down and 9. Incomplete for Hockett. Way off target. Pressure from Leighton Vander Esch.
Zone pressure there. They actually dropped Curtis Weaver, the defensive end, and they brought Vander Esch as a blitzing linebacker. Still kept 4 in the rush and 7 dedicated to coverage. Vander Esch comes clean. Marcus McMarion, not enough time to find an open target.
Avery Williams has already had a very good return tonight. That's a great punt by Blake Cusick. Downed inside the 10. Scoreless in the second half of this title game. Still a 4-point Bulldog lead. Mountain West Conference Championship game remains tight. Still a 4-point game. Rippon has a man in Wilson. Big play, Boise. Wilson inside the 40-yard line.
Cedric Wilson working out of the slot. Zone coverage. Safety doesn't get over the top in time. And Brett Rippon fires a dart. Perfect pass, a dime to Cedric Wilson for 59 yards. Huge play for the Broncos from their own end zone.
How about Rippon running it? He saw a 3-man rush, and suddenly the blue sea opened up for Brett Rippon.
You've been waiting to use that all night.
All night, my man, all night.
That was a design quarterback draw, though, because, you know, offensive linemen were coming off. John Molchon, Garrett Larson, the 2 guards, they went up to the second level after about a 2 count. So you're correct, 3-man rush, and Brett Rippon showing a little athleticism in the open field.
Rippon incomplete. 3rd down and 5 coming up.
Just waiting for A.J. Richardson to come open in the corner. It never happened. Good coverage down the field. Smart decision by Rippon. Throw the football out of bounds.
Junior out of Spokane, Washington, the nephew of Mark Rippon, the 2-time Super Bowl champion and the Super Bowl 26 MVP. Blitz from the Bulldogs. To the sticks. What a snare by Cedric Wilson in front of Tank Kelly. 1st down, Boise State.
Just a great route by Cedric Wilson working on Tank Kelly. Works back to the football. Goes up and makes a competitive grab. Not afraid to go up and use those hands. What a night for Cedric Wilson. What a career he's had here at Boise.
Goes Wolpen. Pinballing his way and then dragging defenders inside the 15 for a 1st down.
Ryan Wolpen making the most of his opportunity. On the play before, he made a key block staying in to give Brett Rippon time to make the pass. And then it's power football between the tackles. The little man with some toughness. And look at the leg drive. He's not going to go down as he fights for more yards.
Rippon. Under pressure. Tobena Okeke, the native Nigerian and a senior from Missouri City, Texas, with the pressure and a penalty marker thrown at the 10-yard line.
By rule, there is no foul for ineligibles downfield because the quarterback was literally grounding the ball. 2nd down.
Okay. Thank you for the explanation.
Well done by David Alvarez, the lead official in this Mountain West Conference crew.
Looking for Cedric Wilson. Here in the red zone, big target up top.
Right there, Wilson trying to wrap his arms around Kelly, and a penalty marker is thrown.
Kelly's in good position. He's got to turn around and try to make a play on the football.
Pass interference. Defense. Number 6. The foul occurred in the end zone. By rule, the ball will replace the 2-yard line. 1st down.
Tank Kelly had inside position on Cedric Wilson. That ball was underthrown. So Cedric Wilson tries to come back for the ball. And since Kelly isn't turned around and able to make a play on the football, he impedes Cedric Wilson's ability to make a play on the ball. It's a good call by the official.
First down and goal.
Power football.
Ryan Wolpen looking for the lead.
Takes it in from the 2. Hogarth on the extra point.
Drive length, 90. Lead, 3. With no Alexander Madison, it's up to the transfer, the redshirt senior, the former walk-on, Ryan Wolpen. He puts Boise in front in the title game. Boise State with the first points of the second half with 4:42 to go in the fourth for the lead. And a good drive by Boise State to jump in front. Now it's Marcus McMarion's turn, and the Bulldogs have it at the 25. Mims, incomplete. What have you liked about Fresno State's offense that you want to see on this drive?
Keyshawn Johnson, I've liked him a lot. What I haven't liked is the running backs in some of the check down situations, inability to catch the football. Some of that's on Marcus McMarion, some of that's on the receivers, but some of the simpler, more easy passes have really been struggles so far for the quarterback, Marcus McMarion.
McMarion heaves it for Jordan. Incomplete. Tyler Horton sticking with him down the field.
He wanted to go to Keyshawn Johnson. He was eyeballing him, but it was double coverage. Safety was cheating over the top. So he looked back to the near side of the field, and Jameer Jordan had a step on Tyler Horton. Too much on that throw from McMarion.
Third down and 10.
Got to watch for here, Adam. Got to watch for Curtis Weaver. All day today, he's been harassing the quarterback in the offensive line of Fresno.
Weaver goes back in coverage, and the pressure gets to McMarion. This time it was Frazier.
Adam, both of these teams have been pretty even keel all night until now. Boise State sidelines are erupting with electricity and with passion. The players are jumping up and down. They're waving towels. And it may not be completely full here, but it is so loud here at field level. That was definitely an issue for Fresno State's offense.
A very quick 3 and out. Their third this half. The Bulldogs have mustered just 82 yards since halftime. Avery Williams with the bobble, but he recovers. And he's out at the 36. .4:14 to play. Boise State trying to wrap up a Mountain West championship. Up by 3, still 4:14 to go. And Ryan Wolpen gets the carry.
Malik Forrester, defensive tackle for Fresno State. So good with his hands and pad leverage. Sheds a block. When he hits you, you feel it. Big hit on the running back, Ryan Wolpen.
The eye test is what it is here in the Mountain West title game. But the metrics, if Fresno State were to come back and win this game, that would improve the metrics of Alabama's resume, having beaten what would be the eventual Mountain West Conference champion. And Alabama trying to make its case for the college football playoff without playing in a championship game today. Open, and the senior with a huge run. It's a first down into Fresno territory as we hit the 4-minute mark.
The cutback here by Ryan Wolpen is fantastic. He puts that left foot in the ground, cuts back against the grain, big hole opens up, and he fights for a couple extra yards. Big first down as Boise State trying to ice away this fourth quarter and this game.
Wolpen working hard. Forrester was the first man to contact him. Approaching 3 minutes to play. And another timeout used here.
These defense to the second half, they have really settled in. Nowhere for either one of these teams to really run with the football. Good coverage, pressure on both these quarterbacks. You say defense wins championships. Isn't that the old adage, Adam?
Of course.
Looks like that's serving as truth here this evening.
Open again. Wrapped up by Bailey. Let's try.
Now, we were talking about this game last night, Adam, and I think you and I both thought the Badgers had a realistic chance to win that game. But we talked about they're a second-half football team.
Yeah.
When you look at their season, the way that they played in the second half,
yep.
He's so far in that Big Ten championship.
Saw it against Iowa. Run to the right for Mahone. That is a huge play by Mike Bell, the safety. It brings up fourth down. Good job by Jeff Tedford. He saved the timeout on third down. Got him to fourth down. Uses the last TO. 2.5 left. And the offense for Fresno State will have an opportunity. And welcome Marcus McMaryion to the biggest stage that you're playing on for a conference championship and your club down 3.
What could you ask for as a quarterback, right? One drive to win a conference championship. Problem is that Boise State defense has been flat out nasty so far in this second half.
Quinn Skillen has been solid punting tonight. Well, they were set up for a block. They brought pressure. And the fair catch at the 13-yard line for Rivers.
Rivers takes the fair catch.
No better opportunity to be the guy than right now.
We haven't seen him make a play with his mobility, his athleticism in quite a while.
Feels like since halftime.
Obviously, he can throw the football down the field. He throws a great deep ball. We haven't seen much of that. I wonder if now's a time where if there's nothing down the field and there's a running lane, he tries to pick up a big gain to get some momentum with his legs.
Under pressure again. Frazier got to the quarterback. Incomplete.
We've got a problem on the right side of this Fresno State offensive line. David Patterson. The rush is going to get home. We saw this last time on the third down. Just beating him to the spot, getting that rip up on the offensive tackle. The tackle's got no chance, nor does the quarterback, to set his feet and deliver a pass.
Screen against the blitz. It is Scott. And a good job by David Moa to get back to the ball. 3rd down and 7 coming up here.
Call that getting out of the stack and running to the football as a defensive lineman. The screen was set up. Scott had room out in front, but Moa with great effort.
McMaryion picked off! intercepted. And guess who? The Mountain West Defensive Player of the Year seals a championship for the Broncos.
Interception, Leighton Vander Esch.
What a night for Leighton Vander Esch. I've said it tonight, he's a tackling machine. And now he comes up with the biggest play of his career. Likely a game-clinching interception. Vander Esch is going to drop in zone coverage, and he's going to read the quarterback's eyes. Gets to his point, get him read the quarterback's eyes, steps in front of the pass, makes an outstanding play to lock up this conference championship for Boise State.
Dusty, we showed you one of the factors for Fresno State's offense, the 12% rule. If of your offensive snaps, if penalties, drops, sacks, and turnovers account for less than 12% of your offensive snaps, you win 90% of the time, according to Kalen DeBoer. Tonight, that number's up at 19%. That's not a recipe for victory. And tonight, Boise State's defense made sure.
The penalties really cost him this evening. Obviously a crucial turnover. You got to give Boise State a lot of credit for being able to generate a pass rush on an outstanding Fresno State offensive line. They'd only given up 7 sacks coming into tonight. They get 2 sacks. Well, it was a lot of the pressure throughout the course of the evening that really gave Marcus McMaryion a lot of trouble.
After the game, fans tune into ESPN3 for the post-game trophy ceremony. We'll have full coverage of it on ESPN3 and the ESPN app. They started the season 2-2. People were calling for Brian Harsin to be out in Boise. They were calling for Brett Rippon to be replaced at quarterback. A couple of months later, Mountain West Conference champions, the Boise State Broncos. Somewhere down there is Molly McGrath. We will get it to her as soon as Brian Harsin enjoys this elation and this ceremony.
Adam, I have the man of the evening, Coach Harsin. After starting the year at 2-2, that Gatorade bath must have felt pretty great. How does Mountain West champion sound to you?
Well, sounds really good. Very proud of these players, their effort tonight, our coaches, this awesome crowd to be here on the blue. And to get this, we got it, baby. We got it. It means a lot. We got it. It means a lot. You got it, baby. You got it, baby. There we go. There we go.
This guy, Cedric Wilson.
It means a lot for these guys here to get it done. And I couldn't be more proud of the battle that they've fought to get to this point right here.
You've talked a lot about the resiliency of this team. Your 1,000-yard rusher goes down in the 4th quarter. What did you learn about this group, the fact that they could push through that?
That's our team. You know, it's not about, we have good players, things happen, and somebody has to step up and carry the flag, and that's what they did all year long, and it's been an entire group effort to get this done.
Boise State is the gold standard for a group of 5 teams. We talked about that the other day. How important was this conference championship win for your program and for what you guys are trying to accomplish?
Well, the Mountain West Conference is a great conference, and Fresno State, hats off to them. What a battle again. But for us in Boise State, to be here on the blue, to have an opportunity, that's the goal every single year. And you fight to get to this point. It means a lot to us, and these guys certainly earned it. They fought their way to be here tonight, and they got it done. Couldn't be more proud. Go Broncos!
Your 2017 Mountain West champions, the Boise State Broncos.
A sea of humanity on the sea of blue turf here in Boise. Brett Rippon and the Broncos are your 2017 Mountain West champions. The trophy ceremony on ESPN3 and the ESPN app immediately coming up. For Dusty Dvorak, Molly McGrath, the wonderful women and men of our crew, Adam Amin saying so long and good night from Boise.